Welcome back to Bergisch land, and how appropriately the Christmas tree's up. Because, yeah, I'm all about that Christmas festive stuff. Yeah, if you've been in real life, you'd realise what I was joking about that. Back in FS19 on Bergisch land. Yeah, been a while. So today the plan is, actually I need to check the weather forecast. The plan was to get some of the grasses in the ground, but it looks to me like we are going to struggle with that. And the forecast is not great for the rest of winter, so we may have to scratch that idea because we need 3-degree soil temps and we have 0-degree soil temp and it's -3. So I think actually we are going to tuck the Novag away in the shed and then head down to the store because we can spread slurry. Just get the volume right on the tractor. We have some slurry and some digestate, and the canola does need some more nitrogen, so we will do that. Something massive difference that I'm noticing from FS22, having played it a fair bit recently, is not having the gearboxes in the tractors on FS19 makes them much faster. The acceleration of things is much faster. So where is our slurry tank and where is our 700 vent? There's the vent. So what we're going to do is we are going to buy a dribble bar to put on the back of the slurry tank. I have put the shuttle on. If you've watched any of my recent FS22 videos, I am running the shuttle on there, although I run the automatic gearbox. So I've put the shuttle on here because it feels much more natural now that I've started using it to run the shuttle. So let's go find the slurry tank. I think I've left it over by the BGA. We've made a big dent in our silage pile. So in fact, let's just have a quick look at the finances and our BGA income. We made 40-odd thousand euros last night. So I found that along with the this fill point, works, and slightly unrealistically we can leave the front loader with a full bucket tipping into there just to keep that churning along. So I think I haven't tested that I have a dribble bar that I can fit on the back of our slurry tank, and because we haven't used the slurry for a few days, we have a lot more slurry. After that, I think we're going to have to get into some forestry, and we may look at buying or leasing the wood chipper that I spoke about before and stockpiling a load of wood chips. If you've watched some of my Maze Plus videos, you will have seen that we also subsoiled this little grass area with the grassland subsoiler because it made a useful background. And I actually finished off the very messy job that some of you noticed I was doing in the video. Nice touches for winter. I assume we're expecting a lot of snow because we've got the poles on the side of the road so we can find the road still. The other thing that I'm hoping is that the cold temps will kill off all the weeds that we have growing in the fields, because we don't have any weed killing options. We could buy a weeder, a mechanical weeder, and I may run one of those over the fields in the spring to knock out some of the weeds. It's not something that I've ever done with seasons, and I'm not sure how well it works. We will probably just accept that we will lose some of our yield due to weeds. It would have been better if this thing was not full as well, although this tractor pulls it fairly well. And again, it's one of the differences between 19 and 22. No gearbox, much faster acceleration. So let's have a look in here. Where are you? There. this should fit on the back. I think it's meant for the base game one. We have a modded one. I can't remember why I went for a modded one. It's 30,000 euros, which we can afford to buy. It has a 15-meter working width, which is slightly less than our tram lines, but it's going to have to work. So let's see if it's going to hook up. It will. Awesome. Even with my bad driving. So let's get back to the farm and get some slurry and digestate on the canola field. I'm doing it now because the crop is young enough that although we have tram lines, if we stray off the tram lines, we're not going to do too much damage to it. And I've changed my recording setup slightly, so hopefully the keyboard noises are not so obvious. It's a slight feature of my videos that has been annoying me when I've been editing them, so I imagine it's been annoying people that listen as well. We're fairly full, so I think we'll just make a start once we get to the entrance of the tram lines, which is over here. And we'll need our precision farming menu open because it's a slurry spreader. It won't do automatic application. But now the crop's in the ground, it will tell us. Need to get further around. It will tell us how much we need. So we need to add about 60 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare, which is what we're on. So let's make a start, shall we? Didn't realise canola needed quite so much nitrogen. But yeah, so this is why I put the tram lines in, so that we could triple bar our slurry and digestate into the planted crops. Is it 100% realistic? I have no idea. Any of you that know, please let me know in the comments down below. But I think it would work. Now we're in theory dribbling the... In fact, that seems to be doing an automatic application. That's very cool. Didn't expect that, but hey. You know, we're dribbling the slurry and digestate on to the soil, so I think that's fairly realistic. So we're going to run a headland, lasting reasonably well. I'm very surprised that this is doing some sort of automatic application, but hey, I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just going to go with it. And we'll get this field fertilized. And then, as I said, I think we're going to be stuck with doing some forestry for a bit, and we may end up skipping some time actually to through to spring, where we can do some field work. I've been doing enough forestry on the survival challenge series, and this is going to be very similar because it's me with a chainsaw. Maybe we could lease a tree harvester. Yeah, that's an option. I'll have a ponder. We've got to get this done first anyway, so I'm hoping that we now have enough slurry and digestate to completely fertilize this field. I think most of the others are okay. We will run over them just to check whilst we can still apply slurry. I think actually we might be able to apply that on frozen ground. I'm not sure. The other thing we can do is, as we build up a stockpile of manure, and once the compost is fermented, we can get that spread as well. And we might need to subsoil some of our grass fields, and we will have the carrots and the spelt to sell in a couple of days' time. So I don't think we're going to be really desperately short of jobs. We will have to find some things to do to fill up our day. I think what we're going to do is fold up and go and refill, and that is basically a perfect point to go into a time lapse because I'm at the 10 minutes. So future me will be with you and we will get this field fertilized and then work out where we're going to go next. So yeah, I did check, and yes, we can spread digestate and slurry when the ground is frozen. We can't spread the manure or the compost, so that's a bit annoying. But we've got a decent amount of digestate stored, so we will be using that up over the winter. And yes, as long as the ground is not frozen, we do have some grass fields to subsoil, so that will keep us busy as well, hopefully. Once we've got this job done, we are going to head over to the lumber mill via the store, because we need to make some new purchases, I think. We have a whole load of empty pallets up at the lumber mill, which I would like to get sold off. The slurry is lasting really well on here. We didn't need as much as I thought, and as I said, surprisingly, the slurry spreader seems to be doing some sort of automatic application, which has completely confused me, to be honest, but hey, I'm not going to argue. That's worked just as I had hoped. Going to muck the cows out. We have quite a big heap of manure stored up, and it's probably worth getting it cleared out before we, rather than just letting it build up through the winter and then trying to bring it out when we need to spread it. So this takes a little while. The Ford is quite twitchy, and this was my first time playing FS19 after a whole load of FS22, and I realised later on I had the steering sensitivity set really high in FS19, so I've turned that down, which makes it a bit better. But I just find tractors drive so differently between the two. I think it's the gearbox that they've added into FS22. It seems to make a big difference to how tractors perform. Makes all the tractors in FS19 seem very sporty. But hey, it is what it is, and that job is done. So over to the store, we're going to pick ourselves up a low loader, which will hopefully fit all the bits we need to get from the lumber mill, and also the JCB telly truck. This little thing is awesome, and it's coming to FS22 from what I've seen. We're going to get a bucket, and we're going to get the big bag lifter. The big bag lifter obviously for all the pallets and things, and the bucket for the wood chips and the bark mulch, because we'll leave all of this over at the lumber mill, which will save us doing some trips. Ignore the fact that I brought a whole load of telehandler stuff when this counts as a skid steer. Yeah, okay, cool. What I have done is check, and it can pretty much deal with the loads that we need to lift. And it's a nice manoeuvrable little truck to get into where the empty pallets are spawned, which is the main problem, and as you can see, we have a lot of them. So I'm very guilty of just letting them build up and not selling them, so we should be in for a reasonable payday. I'm hoping it will cover the costs of, or some of the cost of what we've just spent getting all this stuff brought. But I really wanted to play with this little telly truck. It is so cool. I can't wait for it to come to FS22. It's definitely going to be appearing in some of my games. So I've turned the shuttle off on the telly truck. It just feels more natural for me. I'm not sure, it's possibly not more realistic, but it felt more natural to me. Also finding that I can't stack these pallets very close together, which is kind of annoying, but we're going to have to do 2 trips anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. I'm not sure how many we will get on this trailer, and I don't do the best job of stacking these, to be fair, but you don't watch my videos for my awesome stacking skills. I am no Chainsaw 100. Here's a guy who can really stack some pallets. Off to the store with the first load, and yeah, we kind of rolled it. Really hoping the telly truck can pick it up. I'm not sure, because this is quite heavy and the telly truck is not, but we're going to give it a go, because otherwise we're going to have to go and get the Fent 700, which is a bit of a longer drive, and those back pallets for some reason don't strap, which is quite annoying. I'm going to disconnect the tractor from the trailer, and there we go. Yep, that's the trailer up. The tractor should be easier, so we are good to go on to our adventure of selling pallets up at the pallet sell point. One of the things I really like about this map is it's pretty well set up, and there is a pallet sell point, and 21,000 euros, which was quite nice. Yeah, not bad payday. I don't think we're going to make back all the money that we spent, but we'll make a fair bit. We do need to think about getting the lumber mill or the sawmill reloaded with timber because we are desperately short of wood chip. And we're probably going to tackle that in the next episode, I think. Depending on what ground temps do, I would like to get all the grass that needs swapping for alfalfa and clover and field grass and horse grass sorted. We'll see what the ground temps do. So that's all of these loaded up. Go and get these sold, and then it's on to the wrapped beams. Another 19,000 euros for those, which is pretty nice. These are a bit heavy and still too long for the trailer that we brought. We could do it on without being able to take the ramps off the back. But yeah, the struggle with the weight on these. So the first one I don't think was full. These two are full and they are heavy. We could do with a weight on the back of the telly truck maybe if we can get one. I don't know if there is a weight for skid steers that will go on. There might be in the Massey Ferguson pack actually that we've got for the one over at the horses. I'll have to have a look at that. So yeah, not the most realistically loaded, but it's good enough to get gone to the sell point. And we need to have another idea for a trailer, maybe a bale trailer. But you know, that's a nice 12,000 euros, I think. Yeah, about 12, 10,000 euros for that. Not too bad at all, as they are a byproduct. I'm going to buy some more cows. Yes, I went the wrong way again. We've got plenty of space in the cow shed. So I'm going to get another 2 trailer loads, I think I get. This trailer doesn't hold a huge amount. I think it holds 5, which is not loads. I would normally have a bigger trailer, but it seems the right size for the farm. So, you know, I think this takes us up to something like 65 cows. Obviously they won't be producing milk or anything yet, but it gets us a bit of progress. No, I didn't max out when I was setting the farm up with the number of cows. In fact, I did more than 2 loads. I've lost count as I was doing it. We'll wait and see how many loads we do. It's a bit of a mystery. We're then going to need to get them fed, which is less of a mystery because we're going to need to mix some TMR up. We're going again. We are not. We're done. 3 loads. That was only 1 out. It's been a while since I filmed this. It's weird going back to playing FS19. That is true. I'm really enjoying FS22, and as soon as we get some mod maps, it's going to be so good. We've got VCA now, so we've got GPS. Yeah, it's made it a lot better. It's going to be really good. So, making some TMR on here. Obviously, we're running full Maize Plus with my custom edit of the animal food additions. So we need about 1,000 litres of mineral feed, and then we're going to do. I think we end up doing 2 bales of grass silage, but I'm not sure. Definitely 1 bale of grass silage, 1 bale of hay, 1 bale of clover silage, and we put in some beets, I believe. Just desperately getting short of clover silage. Yeah, so we're going to put in a grab the smaller bucket and fill that with beets, and that will do. It doesn't give us a full mix up, but it gives us a good mix. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you next time on Bergisch Land.